You can either see failure as a plus in your life, something that's going to teach you things that you didn't know. It's going to take you on detours that you're going to learn things that you would have never seen or experienced if you didn't have that detour that you had to go through. So you're either going to see that detour as, oh my, I'm going to learn something that I've never learned because I'm going to see things I've never seen, or you can be frustrated and say, how much time is this going to waste? And I like going the way I always go a lot better.
Discipline will be needed along this journey because discipline will allow you to show up for yourself even when you don't see the results, even when it's not working, even when the seed has not sprouted above the ground. Discipline allows you to keep watering it. So when we look at the importance of discipline, discipline is the thing that's going to get you to where it is that you want to go. But you got to be disciplined even when no one's watching. You got to be disciplined even when you're in the shadows. You got to be disciplined even when you're in the dark. When you have discipline in those moments, then you will get to where you are looking to go.
And bro, I need you to hear something. You're not falling behind. I know it feels like it at times when you look around and you see all of these guys on social media. You see everyone else hitting milestones, making moves, living these perfect lifestyles online, and you feel like you're the only one struggling. But bro, you're not. Most people are just as lost as you are, including me. We're all just figuring this shit out as we go along. Everyone's just very good at hiding it. See, social media shows you everyone's highlights. It makes you compare your real life to somebody else's fake life, but that's not really fair on you. So let me ask you this question. Are you showing up on the days where it feels tough? Are you putting in the work when nobody's watching and celebrating? Are you trying to put one foot in front of the other every single day? Because if you are, bro, then you're winning. And not in a way that social media defines winning, but in a way that actually matters. Because you're going to war with yourself. And progress isn't always visible, growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just you doing the quiet work in silence. Getting 1% better every single day with nobody keeping score. And that doubt in your head, that voice telling you that you're not good enough, it's simply just lying to you. Because you're more than enough right now, being exactly who you are right now. It sounds cliche, but keep going. Believe in yourself and trust in the process, because that's truly all that matters.
Imagine you talk to the creator of the universe before birth and pick the person you get to become. You say, I want to be the most courageous. The creator replies and says, well, then I will give you monsters to terrify you so that you can conquer them. I want to be wise. And the creator replies, then I will give you failures that will crush your spirit so you can learn the value of judgment. You then say, sounds like a rough life. Can you give me a good life? Creator replies, just like we measure the quality of a blacksmith by the strength of his steel, I measure you by what you are at the end, not the fire and the hammer it took to make you. A good life isn't a life that's easy. A good life is a life that makes you into a good person. And that, my son, is a hard life.
The thing that people misunderstand about success is they're looking for the easiest way to get there. Everybody goes 5 easy steps, 10 steps to greatness, 8 steps to this. And those steps for success, they're infinite. You cannot count them. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it, those steps are constantly shifting. You don't know if they're there. Sometimes you have to trust that the next step is going to be there when you can't even see it. And sometimes when you step on that step, you go right into quicksand. But you got to be able to pull yourself back out of it again. And you just can't climb steps. Sometimes you got to crawl along those steps. And you finally get to the top, and everything shifts, and you're at the bottom right there. And where you thought was the top is not even the top. It's the beginning. It's literally the beginning of where you're supposed to be. And that's when most people just quit.
But when you decide something is a must for you, an absolute must, when you cut off any possible, you just say, I'm gonna find the way, or I'm gonna make the way. Human beings, when they resolve things and they make a real resolution inside themselves, which is they raise the standard, they make it a must, they find the way. Think about it in your own life. Haven't you had some area of your life where you raised your standard and your life has never been the same? And then one day something happened. Something just clicked you over. Something took you over that kind of tipping point. And inside yourself, you said, no more. Something inside of you shifted. And what was a should became a must, and you've never gone back.
I can't. You can't? Are you fucking kidding me? You just said I can't?
And he said, I already know what your biggest problem is. And it's like the limitations you're putting on yourself are self-imposed.
You got to answer that question after you take the first step. This is why I'm always pushing that limit, because I know that within pushing these limits, there's always more.
You're going to fall on your face over and over and over again. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you anxiety. You're not laying in bed at night staring at the ceiling with your heart pounding at 3 nights a week. You're probably not trying hard enough. Whatever the goal is, it has to be your goal. You cannot want a goal for someone else, and someone else cannot want a goal for you.
Commitment is major. See, when you decide that you're going to do something, when you commit yourself to live, you hold yourself to a higher standard. You're seeking something. You're pushing the envelope. You are challenging yourself. You are willing to walk by faith and not by sight. And as a warrior, that there's a dramatic difference between being a warrior and being a worrier. Anybody can worry in life when you don't have enough courage, expanded vision, that you have outgrown a situation and it's time to move on. Life moves on you.
When they look in the mirror, they're just trying to see what's on the surface. But winning and losing wants to know what's inside of you. It wants to know what makes you tick. It wants to know what your desires are. It wants to know what your ego is. It wants to know what your limitations are. It wants to know what your mindset is. It wants to know everything about you, because winning does not lie. When you look in the mirror, you can lie and see what's on the surface. Cannot lie what's going on inside. And that's what people are not willing to see. The lies that are truly going on inside of them that are not allowing them to win over and over, or sometimes even win once. You have to look. Winning requires you to go so far deep inside yourself. It's way beyond the surface. It's way beyond internal. It's going to a place that a lot of people haven't visited in a long, long time, because they're afraid to visit that person, because when they visit that person, they don't know who that person is anymore.
They say the greatest achievement of somebody comes right after their worst defeat. When they've hit rock bottom, hit the bottom of the barrel, they got nothing left. Everyone's given up on them. They've lost all their worldly possessions. They're dead broke on their back. It's at that point, guys, when everything's lost, that everything can be gained. There's no more ego there, is there? They let go of, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't like, what if this person rejects me? The animosity, the pressures of society, they let it all go because they've lost it all. They're just now left with the intestinal fortitude, the pride within. Do I want to stay on the bottom of this barrel, or I climb the f*** out of this hole? And that is a spark of what it turns out to be their greatest moment, their greatest hour. We can live that way, guys. Imagine that you can live when you let go of the thought of failure.
Because if there's no way to go back, it's amazing what happens when it's a must to do something versus a should.
Pretend there's a documentary crew filming your success story and they're following you around right now. What would you do? What would you do if you knew that there was a crew following you around with cameras documenting your future incredible success, and they want to catch you in the act of it all? You would do all the right things you would have to do. Think about that, organize it.
The man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination. When you love the journey, the goals just happen. you hit milestones as a side effect because it doesn't matter. At that point, I don't care if I can lift this much weight or run this fast. I mean, that's cool, but I don't love it as much as I love the journey. I love the journey. What does the journey consist of? Sucking at something, failing, getting better, learning, start it over, do it again. When you fall in love with the journey, everything else takes care of itself.
Working on yourself, talking to yourself. That's so very important. Overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time, even when you don't want it to be there. You can't stop yourself right now from thinking. You can't do it. It's going on. And so learning how to empower yourself, part of doing that is standing up to yourself. You've got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up. You get scared sometimes. Your mind will go blank on you. Some people you will allow to unnerve you. And you'll wonder, what's wrong with me? I'm not crazy. That's why you've got to learn to make a conscious, deliberate, determined effort to stand up inside yourself. Working on yourself, watching that inner dialogue, it will determine the quality of your life.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen. Losers see thunderstorms. Winners see rainbows. Losers take chances. Winners make choices. It's all in the way you choose to think.
Outside the parking lot. Dreary, cold morning. Miami Fitness here. Why did I bring that up? Because it's up to the individual to allow the dreariness to set inside. Do we worry about external factors, or do we worry about what's inside of ourselves? Those two different things are the two measures of confidence, positive and negative confidence. And negative confidence is an egocentric person. Bases all their performance trying to achieve third parties' agreeability, their likeness, their thumbs up, because we value their opinion. Those kind of people allow this mood and weather and everything that's set in to dictate their performance of the day. There's also another side, the positive side of confidence starts from within. That's called pride. That doesn't value rain, sun, if there's someone in the corner looking at them, if it's 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, that pride is always awake.
To look at any great performer, one thing that makes them great is their grit. One thing that makes them great is their hunger to practice. One thing that makes them great is they are willing to sacrifice. I mean, yes, they're passionate, but did you know the root of the word passion is suffering? You've got to be willing to suffer for your vision. You've got to be willing to suffer to reach BIW, best in world. You've got to be willing to suffer the ridicule and laughter of your critics and your cynics to get to a place called world class.
Greatness is not this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, God-like feature that only the special among us will ever taste. It's something that truly exists in all of us. It's very simple. This is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it.
You might have sore legs, sore back, sore shoulder. So, the struggle is real. It never gets any easier. You gotta get harder. No one cares what you did yesterday. It only matters what you do today.
Following your dreams is a lonely, solitary, scary, dangerous pursuit. You can't wait for somebody to think you can do it. And it's like, because they don't think you can do nothing, they can't do it. It's like, it's a lonely, scary, dangerous pursuit. And as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone.
You have to have a contract with yourself of what greatness looks like, what winning looks like, what success to you is. And that contract is non-negotiable. It is literally non-negotiable.
The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile.
Now you're gonna have to go through hell. Worse than any nightmare that you ever dreamed.
But I would say, bring it on.
Then I often say to people, you're gonna have pain one way or the other. Which pain would you like?
The most important question to ask is, what pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for?
To me, a fight is not a fight until there's resistance, until there's something to overcome.
If you gaze into the abyss long enough, you see the light, not the darkness.
But in the end, I know you'll be the one standing.
And every day you wake up, it sucks. And when it's over, you feel better. It sucks, you feel better.
Until you win, effort always goes unnoticed. Get used to it. No one roots for you until everyone roots for you. That's just how it works.
And the truth is, the price of progress is pain.
The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Go for the discipline because it weighs ounces. The regret weighs tons.
And unfortunately, resilience matters in success. I don't know how to teach it to you except for I hope suffering happens to you.
The greatest people on the planet have suffered the most. Suffering is not bad. I'm suggesting suffering is awesome. The ego runs from suffering because it's the death of the ego. But I believe pain, difficult times, failure, loss is purification and preparation for personal heroism.
At the end of the day, I ask myself one question: can I take one more step? And usually the answer is yes.
There comes this time in everyone's life where, destiny taps you on the shoulder and it says it would be a shame if you weren't ready when that happened.
And I think like when your dream is so big, when you have something, it's hard to give up. Like you get to the point that you're capable of risking more for just a dream.
Pain is part of success. Just convert pain into a positive thing. Success is not coming on a silver platter. You need to work for it. The moment you are working for it, that's how you undergo pain. Yeah, pain in your body and even pain in your mind thinking. But at the end of it, you'll enjoy.
My point was that a life without pain is a life without challenge, and a life without challenge is a life without growth. So not only do I embrace the challenge, embrace the pain associated with challenge and growth, but I even look forward to it in many regards. I invoke, please, give me some challenges here because I need to be tested. I need to be stronger. I need to grow in my resolve with whatever weakness is in my character. Pain is a beautiful thing. Challenge is what life is about. A life without challenge, a life without pain is a life without growth. And where there is no growth, there is stale, stagnant energy.
Listen to the pain. It's both history teacher and fortune teller. Pain teaches us who we are. Sometimes it's so bad, we feel like we're dying. But we can't really live till we died a little, can we?
Overcome the suffering means it's gonna be there. You're gonna lose your mother. You're gonna lose your father. You're gonna lose animals and humans that you love. It's going to happen. You're gonna lose money, and at the same time, people are also gonna hurt you even though you don't even know what you did wrong. Things like this are going to happen in this lifetime. To wait for better times to come where the world will be completely in peace and you can walk peacefully over the street, never having the fear that somebody's gonna come and do something to you. It's not gonna happen. If we don't create the better times, nothing's gonna happen.
when it comes to desiring a life, looking at, okay, what is it that I want? You need to be very, very careful about what the process is in order to get the outcome that you want. Because if you want the outcome, but you're not prepared to live the life needed to get it, you're just asking for disappointment.
If you can answer that question and not take another step, that is real failure. That is real quitting. So a lot of people can take one more step, but they choose not to. I don't know if you can take 2 steps. You got to answer that question after you take the first step. But I can always take one more step, so if I choose not to, that's on me. But I got to live with that.
Most people live because most people's lives are designed around treading a path that is void of challenge. The minute they recognize challenge or pain, they move the other way. But a weak perspective, most people are bored if you ask them. That's because they're living their lives in a lie that is shrouded in comfort. It doesn't exist. They're not challenged, they're not growing, they're bored and they're better off dead. Your aliveness is found in your pain. Embrace it, love it, and grow from it.
How do you hang in there during the hard, difficult times, Les? You must have faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your service, your company, your ideas, unquestionably. You've got to have faith, and that faith gives you patience. That is not going to happen as quickly as you want it to happen. A lot of things are going to happen that will catch you off guard. And so therefore you've got to deal with and handle it as it comes. And not only that, but that faith and patience drives you into action.
Whether it's adversity, whether it's suffering, whether it's pain, if you choose to run towards it, who you become on the other side of it is a newer, higher, more transcendent version of you.
My mentality when I do start to be like, damn, this is a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, that's what it's supposed to feel like. If you are going toward what the vision look like, and that's like greatness. That's, you know, on multiple levels. That's the vision that I'm working toward. So I'm like, I just think about that, like it ain't supposed to feel, you know, comfortable. It's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to stretch you. It's supposed to be a burden to a degree. And you gotta, you know, wrap your mind around that and accept it and embrace it. And you catch the wisdom off of that.
I even miss the pain. That's why I even try and tell people that just to embrace the struggle though, because one day it's gonna be done. I look back on them times and actually somehow miss them still.
Progress is pain. Most people do not want to experience pain. They like comfort. So if you want progress, you must be willing to, in the process, experience pain so that you may achieve your goal.
Heroes and villains always have the same backstory, pain. The difference is what they choose to do about it. Villain says, the world hurt me, I'll hurt it back. The hero says, the world hurt me, I'm not gonna let it hurt anybody else. Heroes use pain, villains are used by it.
Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
So there is a difference between something shows up in your lifetime and you are ignoring it, you are avoiding it, you're trying to run away from it, and you face it. You face the anger, you face the fear, you face the jealousy, you face the pain, you face what you don't like, you face the fact that you are out of your comfort zone. Why? Because you know that once you have overcome it and find a solution for it, it's solved for this lifetime.
You don't have to necessarily have done anything wrong for things to get completely out of control. It's a terrifying doctrine, but it's not a hopeless doctrine because it still says that there's a way forward, there's a pathway forward, and the pathway forward is to adopt a mode of being that has some nobility so that you can tolerate yourself and perhaps even have some respect for yourself as someone who's capable of standing up in the face of that terrible vulnerability and suffering. Well, certainly by the avoidance of deceit, particularly in language, but also by the adoption of responsibility for the conditions of existence and some attempt on your part to actually rectify them. You know, if you take people and you expose them voluntarily to things that they are avoiding and are afraid of, you know, that they know they need to overcome in order to meet their goals, their self-defined goals. If you can teach people to stand up in the face of the things they're afraid of, they get stronger.
Success is not rocket science. You go and find the thing that you don't know, learn the thing you don't know, and do the thing you haven't been doing, and get the life you say you want. All I wanted was unfamiliar. But you have to understand that most people don't invite in unfamiliar because people are more committed. People are more committed to a familiar discomfort than they are to an unfamiliar new possibility. The key words are familiar and unfamiliar. See, we want to have a new experience while having some of the same behaviors because they're familiar to us. They're familiar. Some of them not even comfortable. People in relationships are not even comfortable. It's just familiar. People are still at jobs that aren't even comfortable. They're just familiar. So that's the craziest, that we are more committed to a familiar discomfort than we are to an unfamiliar new possibility because of the familiarity, not even the comfort.
To give people a vision of themselves beyond their mental conditioning and their circumstances, to let them know that they have greatness within them. But greatness, it's not our destiny. It's a choice that you have to make every day. You have to put yourself in a state of perpetual discomfort in order to manifest your greatness. You've got to reach outside of your comfort zone. So every day I look forward to the opportunity to inspire people to reach higher, to understand and know that what they've done is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible.
Well, I think a fair bit of that's probably be found in, you can find it in shame, you can find it in guilt, you can find it in conscience, you can find it in anger, you can find it in interest and engagement and beauty. There's lots of pathways. If you're angry about something in the world, well, it's speaking to you in a moral sense. This shouldn't be that way. Well, maybe you're the person who should do something about it in some manner. Maybe it'll take your whole life to figure out how to do that. Negative emotions can be a pathway to transformation. I'm not trying to romanticize them. They can crush you completely and leave you with nothing, for sure. And they can go badly astray. But shame, that's a good one. What am I ashamed of? Well, can you fix any of that? Because you might ask yourself, let's say you're so ashamed and so crushed that you're nihilistic and you can't see any hope for life. You're just done. You might think, well, what if I was less ashamed? I'm going to work on these things that I'm ashamed of and just see. Like, does my life improve enough so that I'm not so bitter about it now, or I'm not so hopeless about it now? And my experience has generally been that that works. It works.
There are winners, there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win. All they need is some help and assistance, just a little support. All they need is some insight or a different strategy or plan of action to make some adjustments that will open up the key to a whole new future for them, that will give them access to the unlimited power that they have within themselves.
So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. We literally have to become someone else. In other words, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So then the person says, I am insecure. And whenever you say, I am anything, you're commanding your mind and body towards a destiny. So then most people's biology is, for the most part, their past. And so if you're not being defined by the vision of the future, some new possibility in your life, you're only left with the old circuitry in your brain and the old emotions of the past. So the question then is, can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the experience has already occurred?
Every single day, you one step closer, and you don't know how many steps away you are from your goal, or from where you want to be. And you know, me personally, I don't want to tell you, don't give up, because it could be a mental switch. That's all you need to where the next 6 months of your life is gonna be the best 6 months of your life thus far. It's so easy to quit, bro. That's what everyone's doing, that we're not trying to be like everybody else. I always remember that.
Choose just one part of your personality to develop that would virtually guarantee your success. Persistence would be your choice. Napoleon Hill suggested that there may be no heroic connotation to the word persistence, but he said the quality is to the character of the human like what carbon is to steel. Persistence is going to keep you going in the face of almost every obstacle that you can imagine. It is based upon your focus being directed towards the positive polarity in life. You see, it's not difficult to find an individual who's persistently doing what they don't want to do and achieving results they don't want to achieve. A lack of persistence is not their problem. How they're using their persistence is. Ignorance and paradigms are the enemy that we must defeat. Everyone is persistent. Our objective must be to put persistence to work for us rather than against us.
You're not gonna hit it out of the park on the first shot. But the crazy thing about how success works is that you only need to win once. That's the crazy part, is you only have to win once. No matter where you're at in your journey, you've just gotta believe with all your fucking heart that you're going to make it. Because no one else is gonna believe for you.
You need to believe and know that you're one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one book, one thought, one something away from a completely different life. And when you know that, then you begin to look for them.
If I were to leave this earth tomorrow, the one message I want to get across to everybody that sees this is that life is really short. And when you get the opportunity to take a chance and bet on yourself, fucking take it.
And what most people do is when the struggle or the tough season or the adversity comes, they do every and anything to try to get away from it. Anchor down and embrace it. Anchor down and embrace it. And I promise you, the storm will eventually pass. But don't prolong the storm by trying to resist the storm. Put your anchors down, put your feet down, right? Like a tree that has deep roots, and embrace the storm, and eventually it will pass and you will come out a stronger version of yourself.
The biggest misunderstanding about passion is that it isn't something you find or something that just comes to you. It's something you create. Too many of us go our entire lives wondering why we aren't lucky or fortunate enough to have a natural purpose or to naturally be passionate about something when it isn't even a natural thing to begin with. True passion isn't naturally occurring. It only occurs through the action of building it. And that's the irony of it all. True passion, purpose, is never one specific thing, but it's found through the effort that you give in of itself working towards that thing, or anything for that matter. So if you've always felt like you don't have a thing that others do that get them all excited to get out of bed in the morning, then just start working on all different areas of your life and let that love of giving effort fulfill you. Anyone can try, anyone can get hit, anyone can invest in the idea of becoming. That's the purpose and passion that you've been searching so long for.
Why don't you think the highest of yourself? We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great.
If you genuinely believe in yourself, you are 75% already there towards your goals. Like you will accomplish them. If you believe yourself, put in the work, it's done.
Nobody can make you successful but you. If you don't believe in you, why should I? If you're not going to invest in you, why should I? You are with you every single day. You know you better than anybody else, but you want someone to invest in you that hasn't spent one moment with you? If you're not willing to do that? Of course you wouldn't. You believe in you.
Be the person that your mum thinks you are, or the person that your younger self wanted as a role model. Brave, courageous, earnest, honest, virtuous, like on fire. There's this quote from the ancient Greeks that says, live as though all your ancestors were living again through you. I really love that. We judge people based on how much life they can tolerate, how much feeling they can deal with and carry and enjoy. That's something that we should all try and have more of in ourselves, being that person that your younger self wanted as a role model.
What would your life look like if you had the ability to adhere to every single plan, every single dream, every single goal that you have set forth for yourself from the time that you were 10 years old to however you are now? What would your life look like?
Life has a way of testing you. Sometimes it feels like you're caught in a storm that just won't end. The kind of storm that leaves you drenched, battered, and clinging to anything that will keep you afloat. The kind that makes you wonder, how much more of this can I take? Maybe that's where you are right now, right in the middle of it. Maybe it feels like the universe is against you, like every step forward is met with 2 steps back, like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. And when you're in that place, it's easy to think the storm will last forever. But here's the truth, the storm will end. It might not feel like it now. It might not feel like there's even a glimpse of light on the horizon. But storms don't last forever. They can't. And no matter how impossible it feels, no matter how heavy the rain, the sun will rise again. It always does. The question is, how do you keep going until it does? When the storm is raging, you need something to hold on to, something that keeps you grounded when everything else feels like it's falling apart. That anchor could be anything, a goal, a belief, a memory, a purpose. It's not about pretending the storm isn't there. It's about finding something solid within yourself to hold on to when the winds are trying to pull you in every direction. Ask yourself, what am I fighting for? What is worth holding on to? It might be your family, your dreams, your future self, the person you know you're capable of becoming. Whatever it is, let it be your anchor. Let it remind you why you're still standing, why you're still fighting, why you haven't given up.
When life feels impossible, the big picture can be overwhelming. You look at everything you have to face, and it feels like too much, too big, too heavy, too far away. But you don't have to face it all at once. You just have to take the next step. Focus on what you can do right now, in this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Can you make one phone call? Write one email? Take one step out of bed? Sometimes the smallest steps are the most important because they remind you that you're still moving. They remind you that you're still capable. They remind you that the storm hasn't beaten you yet. This isn't the first storm you faced. It might feel like the hardest, the longest, the darkest. But it's not the first time you've been tested. And if you're still here, that means you've survived every storm before this one. Think back to those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, when the pain felt unbearable, when you doubted whether you had the strength to keep going. And yet, you did. You made it through. You're still standing. Let that be your proof. Proof that you're stronger than you think. Proof that you've faced impossible things before and come out the other side. Proof that you can do it again. One of the hardest things about being in the middle of a storm is the feeling that it will never end. That this is your life now. This chaos, this pain, this struggle. But the storm is not who you are. It's something you're going through. It's not your identity. Accept that the storm is here, but don't let it become you. You are not your struggles. You are not your pain. You are the person who is weathering them, who is standing tall in the face of them, who is learning, growing, and becoming because of them.
Even in the darkest storms, there are glimmers of light. Maybe it's a kind word from a stranger. Maybe it's a moment of laughter with someone you love. Maybe it's the simple fact that you woke up this morning and decided to try again. Those small lights might seem insignificant, but they matter. They're reminders that the storm hasn't taken everything, that there's still good in the world, still hope, still something worth fighting for. Look for those lights, hold on to them, let them guide you forward. Storms are destructive, yes, but they're also transformative. They tear down what's weak, what's unstable, what wasn't meant to last, and they leave you with the raw materials to build something stronger, something better. This storm you're in, it's shaping you. It's teaching you resilience, patience, courage. It's showing you what you're capable of, what you can endure, what you can overcome. And when it's over, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more grounded than you ever thought possible. This is the most important thing to remember. The storm is temporary. The pain you're feeling, the struggle you're facing, it won't last forever. It might feel endless now, but every storm runs out of rain. Every night gives way to morning. When the sun rises again, and it will, you'll look back on this time and realize that it didn't break you. It tested you, yes. It challenged you, pushed you to your limits. But it didn't break you. It made you. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you face it. You can choose to let it consume you, or you can choose to let it refine you. You can choose to give up, or you can choose to fight for the life you know you're capable of living. The storm will end, the sun will rise, and when it does, you'll be standing there, stronger, braver, and more alive than ever before. Keep going. You've got this.